Wilder Ortiz is a really good fight. Wilder is now in a really good fight. He hasn't been in any good fights yet. Not his fault. Joshua is coming off a Klitschko fight and Wilder is now fighting Ortiz. If he comes through on the other side, we are really starting to build a super fight here. Joshua will fight anyone, no problem. We're looking at the winner of that fight in spring, summer. Guaranteed that you will see Joshua fight the winner of that fight before 2018 is out for sure. Parker just fought Fury. It was one of the worst heavyweight fights I've ever seen. So his stock has just plummeted, but we will still want his belt. Joshua Wilder is the fight. Two young explosive heavyweights is becoming a super fight. If it becomes a pay-per-view fight over here in America, which I think it is, we don't mind coming here. And it's huge in the UK. Those are the words of promoter Eddie Hearn. Interesting what he said there about Joseph Parker against Hughie Fury. He said it's one of the worst heavyweight fights he's ever seen. I'm not sure about that. Some of you are going to come up with theories now. You're going to say, well, Hearn knows that Joseph Parker is more dangerous than Deontay Wilder. So that's why he's looking to avoid Joseph Parker and take Wilder on, have Joshua take Wilder on instead. I'm not saying that that's what I believe, by the way. So please don't misquote me. I'm saying that's what some people are now going to run with. That's the narrative some people are going to try run with after hearing Eddie Hearn say that. So make it out what you will. He has talked about unifying with Parker in summer 2018, but at the moment the front runner is Deontay Wilder. Wilder is a bigger name internationally. The United States is obviously enormous compared to, especially compared to New Zealand. So yeah, you do have to figure that Wilder is the bigger name. He's been champion for longer than Joseph Parker. There's more money involved in it. And there are two locations the fight could take place. It could happen in the UK and be a huge event. It could also happen in the United States and be a huge event. Potentially pay-per-view in the United States. So yeah, how do you think a fight would go? Let's say Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both come through their next fights and win. How do you think a Wilder-Joshua fight would go? Most people seem to be picking Joshua and picking him pretty decisively. But then there are quite a few people out there who say, you know what, I think Wilder with his speed might be able to tag Joshua. And if he gets him hurt or drops him the way that Vladimir Klitschko did, he won't let Joshua off the hook. He'll finish him. And one thing I always tell people about Deontay Wilder, one thing which is underestimated about him, is his fitness levels are tremendous for a big man. This is one thing people never seem to notice or talk about. When have you ever seen Deontay Wilder gassed out in a fight? And he's been late in fights, 10, 11 rounds, and fought at a good pace in a lot of these fights. Well, he went 12 rounds with Stavern. You don't see Wilder getting gassed out. And one of the reasons is because despite the fact he's 6'7", with a very long reach, he only weighs about 220 pounds. So there isn't that much muscle on that long, lanky frame to be supplying oxygen to from his, lungs, and for his heart to be pumping blood around. So his body, his musculature is kind of like a computer where you have certain programs that are very CPU intensive, right? If you think of Wilder's heart as a CPU, or his heart and his lungs as a CPU, yeah, just to give a bit of a clunky metaphor here, people, then you could say his body is not very CPU intensive, compared to Joshua's body. So that's one of Wilder's strengths, is that stamina. And when he does empty the clip on somebody, when he gets them hurt, yeah, he can windmill and all that kind of thing. But look, when he hurts you, he ain't letting you off the hook. He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at you. And once he's thrown everything but the kitchen sink, if you're still standing or if you've survived, he's got more in the tank to go at you again. And that is unusual for a heavyweight of those kind of dimensions. Certainly Joshua, he's not able to do stuff like that. We saw that in the Klitschko fight, even in the Dillian Whyte fight. He does get gassed out and he has to regroup and find his second win. So don't underestimate that element of Deontay Wilder's game or his ability, however you want to phrase it. So let me know what you think of this, people. Would you rather see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua before Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua? Which do you think is the tougher fight? And how do you think either fight would go? Joshua Wilder, how would that go? Joshua Parker, how would that go? Drop your comments in the comment section below and let me know. It's Hearn, I'm out.